everyone. How are you this evening? Happy New Year. It's 2021. Hey, Miss Joby killing them. Hey, Miss Nelson. How are you? So I know that as time goes on, the first couple of minutes, a lot of people are just starting to log in and stuff. But I really hope that everybody had a great holiday and an awesome New Year. I spent my holiday working, pulling out orders and stuff like that. And New Year's, I rested very well because I was tired. I was very tired. That is one thing when you own an Etsy shop. A lot of people, they like to buy personalized individual items during the Christmas holidays and stuff. Hey, Ash and Jay. So anyway, I wanted to do this embroidery happy hour to talk about 2021 and what I got going on and what I plan on doing for the new year. I have a lot of folks that have reached out to me and had shared with me that for this year, they either got a Cricut or a Cricut Maker, or they just got their SC 1900 sewing and embroidery machine. So there are so many newbies out there in the Cricut community and also in the sewing and the embroidery community. Hi, Tracy. Hey, Edith. How are you? I see you are back on. So one of the things that I wanted to share is because, this channel has really grown. Okay. I want to mention a couple of things. Hey, Jennifer, I wanted to mention a couple of things about 2020. I have been able to accomplish a lot of things that I got to be honest, I wanted to do, but I wasn't too confident or anything and sure of how, if it was going to go well, For instance, my Etsy shop. I had originally opened an Etsy shop in 2019. And I was selling like t-shirts. But in 2020 is when I decided that I wanted to sell things that I embroidered. And I was not very confident on how that was going to go. I didn't know if people were really going to be interested in buying things that I made. So I was kind of iffy about it, right? But I am really happy to say that I actually made more money in 2020 than I did in 2019. Now, I didn't make like a whole bunch. I'm not, I didn't make millions and millions of dollars. I made like $100 more, okay? The first year that I opened up my Etsy shop in 2019, I made about I think it was like $6,000, something like that. So in 2020, I made like $6,100 and something dollars. So, but to me, I was like, that's still good, I mean, it's better than zero, right? So, hey, any extra dollar is, to me, it's a plus, okay? So, I was pretty impressed with that. Then, I wanted to do this channel because I really love my SC 1900 machine. When I had first bought my machine and I was doing a lot of searches on how to use this machine and see if other people out there had it, a lot of people were doing videos on the PE 800, the PE, I think it's 600 or 625, all these other brands, but nobody really touched on the SC 1900. When I saw videos on it, when I looked up SC 1900, a lot of the videos were really geared towards the 800, the PE 800. But I wanted to really learn the functionality of the SC 1900. So I was kind of like out of luck, and I had to kind of like really teach myself on how to use this machine. So I decided, what the hell, let me make these videos and see it could help someone else. Well, first of all, I was happy when I just had like 10 subscribers, I was like, oh, I'm helping 10 people. Then I was really happy when I hit the 1,000 mark, right? And then I was like, wow, now I can get into the YouTube partner. Well, this year in 2021 going in, I got 1,600 subscribers, which I'm kind of like, oh, cool. But I've had a lot of people reach out and they just buying the SC1900, which I think is really, really awesome. So that means that, you know, we can all learn together and I can teach you guys what I've learned. This past week, I wanted to put more videos out. I was able to put out, I believe I put out 3 this past week. One of them seemed to have been really, really popular. And I really want to thank a young lady that was in our Facebook group, which is Happy Hour Embroidery Adventures, Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures. She actually posted and said, hey, are there any applique videos out there? Any videos out there on how to do applique, right? Now, I did have 2 videos, one of where I did applique on a onesie, and I did another one on when I did applique on my puppy's bag. But when she asked the question, right, I was thinking to myself, you know, sometimes people need to understand really the basics of what an applique is and how to apply it and everything. So what I did was I took the time to actually put out a video, and I called it Applique 101, where I just took a piece of felt and I hooped it in the 5x7 and I put it in the SC1900 and I explained everything from start to finish. You know, hooping the machine, even looking at how an applique stitches out on the Embrilliance simulator. I was going to say simulation, but you know, you guys know what I mean. What it is it kind of like, you know, draws out how the needle's going to stitch it so that you can see all 3 steps. Okay. That video seems to be kind of popular, and a lot of people gave me a lot of positive feedback about it, saying that they really liked the way I explained it because it was really, really simple. So I want to do a video after that one showing and I'm going to call it a multi-applique video. And what I mean by a multi-applique video is, and I don't know if I have it, a sample with me. What it is I don't know if you guys have seen, and well, yeah, I do. This, you could consider this a multi one. Here's one. Here's one. This is when I was first starting, so don't worry. Yes, I know there's a lot of puckering on this one because I did not use the right stabilizer and the right material. Okay, this was just me messing around. Okay, so what I mean when I'm talking about a multi-applique design, I'm talking about that. If you watch the video that I say Applique 101, I take the number 1 and I just stitch that out, right? And it's just one piece of fabric. You're going to sometimes see that there's a design where there are multiple places where you lay the fabric. And the fabric can be of different types of colors and textures and all that kind of stuff. So it can kind of sometimes get a little bit confusing. One design that I have that I'm going to do from start to finish in this video that I'm going to have coming up is I'm going to take the mermaid design. That one is really, really popular for little girls' birthday shirts and everything. You see a lot of people, you know, they design the mermaid with the number and the little girl's name and stuff. So I like that design because it has the face, the hair, the fin and stuff, and it can all be different colors and stuff. So I want to stitch that out on the SC1900 and so that you can see how, you know, how complicated sometimes an applique can be. But if you look at how the stitch out plays out on Embrilliance, the way I did it in the Applique 101 video, you can kind of get it. It gets a little more simpler. So I'm going to do that video this week and I'm going to post it out there. And I know that that will help you guys out more as you start to learn how to do more of the appliques. Okay. So another thing I wanted to mention too about the 2020 accomplishments and stuff. Our Facebook group has actually more than 250 members, which I think is like so cool. Now, I am going to tell you something. I really, really love the support and I really love the way the channel is growing. I have to be honest, especially sometimes when I do these lives, sometimes on Fridays, I don't know, my very, very first live that I did with you guys. I remember it was my son's idea, and Cardito came out and said, do happy hour, embroidery happy hour, you know? And that's where you can share your thoughts and things that you're doing and things that you've discovered and all that kind of stuff. So, man, was I sweaty because I didn't even think anybody was going to tune in, right? But then as time goes on and stuff, I started building, friendships with you guys. I feel, like, I get to help you guys, and I'm actually learning from you guys too. So, I really like what this channel has become. It has really become a really, really great place. So, I also wanted to share with you in this happy hour about 2021. We've had, 2020 is gone. It's been kind of like a roller coaster ride for all of us. But I wanted to tell to you about what I plan on doing moving forward. Okay. One of the things that I plan on doing is I want to expand on my Etsy shop. I do a lot of the embroidery on dinner napkins, and those are selling pretty good, especially during Thanksgiving and Christmas, because people like to decorate their tables during that time, and people like to give those out as gifts also. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm looking for new design frames, and I'm going to start, stitching out samples. Now, I'm also going to do a video. I was thinking as I do new designs and I stitch them out, I'm going to videotape myself doing them. So that way you guys can see how I actually create my items. And it can give you guys ideas on how to do stuff, I was also thinking about expanding it in the clothes area. My cousin is expecting a baby, and I think I showed you a onesie that I had did. She's expecting a little boy, and they're going to name it Javier. And I did this one, okay? And this came out really, really cute, little onesie. And one of the things that I like is when people have babies that I know is that I can create these samples and I can give it to them as gifts, and I don't have to throw them out. Because if I don't have anyone to give any shirts to, then what I do is I go to my felts, because I'm not going to, take a brand new onesie or a shirt and embroider on it and then just throw it on the shelf. This is another one that I worked on today, which I thought came out really, really cute. It says I'm the little brother, and I think she's going to really like this one too. So these are new little designs. So I figured what I'm going to do in my Etsy shop is I'm going to create like a little section that says the onesies collection. And then I was thinking I could do the girls collection, maybe the boys collection. I'm also expanding and doing new kitchen tables. I should have had these out of the bags so I could show you guys. But let me open them up. I'm saying kitchen tables. I am not doing composite, okay? I would no. Kitchen towels. Okay, that's what I meant to say. Sorry, guys. Okay. This is a new design that I have. Now, I'm not too crazy about the font. I'm not sure how, I was showing my mom this morning and she liked it. My dad seemed to have liked it too, because he was like, oh no, she put the accent on there. This is La Café de Abuela, which is, grandma's coffee. That's in Spanish. And I really liked this design. Now, I always am going to embroidery websites and I'm always looking for like different designs and stuff to put on kitchen towels. And then I just try to change it up a little bit. So I think this came out really cute. So I put this on my Etsy shop also. So I think I'm going to do a kitchen towel, collection. I don't know why, but I kind of like the word collection today. So I've been changing up my Etsy shop sections to say collections. because I figured, I don't know, maybe it looks more professional and stuff. Now, one of the things that I do know is I was looking at my Etsy shop. I need to work on my pictures. I feel like my pictures, they don't look too like bang, you know? So I need them to really, really be more professional looking. So I do have a photo box out here. That's what you see, this little black box that you see right here. And I am trying to retake a lot of my photos and stuff so that my store can look more professional and stuff. Now, here is another towel. Now, this Christmas, this is called La Cocina de Abuela. This is, you know, grandma's kitchen, you know, and I really, really, really loved this design. I thought this design was really, really, really cute. And I bought these designs from embroiderylibrary.com. So embroiderylibrary.com has some gorgeous, gorgeous, really pretty designs. And they have some really good sales too. A lot of times when they put stuff on sales, they have them for like $1.39. These were $1.39, each of these things. And one of the things that I really love about embroidery files is when you buy them, they're not that expensive. You know, you can really catch some really beautiful embroidery designs on sale. And what I love is that you get to use them over and over and over again. And then if you have embroidery software, what you can do is you can modify those designs, you know, to just change them up a little bit, you know, changing up the colors or just remove a certain aspect of the design. You can manipulate it and stuff. So, you know, that is something that I really, really want to do for this coming year is I really want to focus on the Etsy shop. I want to make it a little more professional looking. I want to be able to offer more different, more things. You know, I want to, you know, I think I want to do more onesies. You know, now that my cousin you know, is having a baby, I want to take advantage of that. Which is kind of sad because it's like, girl, thank God you got pregnant. No, it's no. But anyway, I want to take advantage of it because it gives me an excuse to do some baby clothes. Okay, so you know, kind of wish she was having twins though, because if she was having a boy and a girl, then I could do both boy and girls. I don't want to do a whole bunch of girl shirts and then I throw them out and stuff like that. But I think my girlfriend from Maryland is going to be a grandma soon. I think she's going to have a little girl. I'm not sure. I got to check on her. You know, I got to see, because that's the thing. When you're doing samples and stuff like that, I don't want to throw them away. So I would prefer to know of someone that I can make the samples for. And then I could take a picture of a real shirt and stuff like that. And then I can just give it to them as a gift and stuff. If not, then I do like, you know, this is what I was trying to do, like with fabrics, is I was like folding these. You see that some girls, or, you know, some people, they'll, you know, not just girls, you know, boys embroider too, but they'll fold this kind of stuff and they'll, you know, take a picture of it. I don't like it. The reason why I didn't like it is I felt that it just looked kind of cheesy. It didn't look good. So when I do my samples, I always use the felt. And someone did ask me on Facebook about when you use the felt, do you use stabilizer? Yes, I use tearaway stabilizer on the felt. Then I hoop it, and then I just create my sample. And I feel that this is just, it's thicker, and it looks better on the camera, because then I could fold it up, you know, like this, you know, fold it into a square with the design showing, and then you take a nice photo. So, you know, so that is something that I definitely want to do. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I got my outline here. Okay. So, oh, also, I want to expand more on the YouTube channel also. You know, a lot of the videos have been geared towards the sewing and the embroidery side of using the SC1900. But the thing is, a lot of folks have also reached out to me and said, hey, I just got my Cricut maker. You know, I got two friends that live in Maryland. One got the maker and one got the Cricut Explorer 2. And, you know, they're both really, really good machines. You know, I've had them both. You know, I had the Cricut Explorer, and then I bought myself the Cricut Maker. And then what I did was I took my Cricut Explorer and I regifted it to a friend of mine that I knew she would love, so that she could do her thing, you know. So you know, I want to do both sides. I want to do the sewing, and I also want to do the Cricut stuff. And you know, for some of you folks know, I did get into sublimation. I bought, and I got a, the light is going down. I bought a sublimation printer, okay? And I'm going to tell you, so far I have been playing with this, and it's a love-hate relationship with doing sublimation for me. The reason why I say that I have issues with is because it is a pretty unforgiving craft. It's not like with the Cricut. Sometimes, you know, unless you cut something wrong, um, there are things that can be unforgiving, but there are some things that you can fix, right? In embroidery, I guess it's the same way, you know. Um, thank God for the Peggy Stitch eraser. That's all I got to say, you know. You know, and your seam ripper, you know. With what I don't like about the sublimation is that, you know, it's ink. It's ink that permanently gets on a product. But if you do it right, then it comes out great, like this. I did this right. It came out great. It's a beautiful tumbler. I mean, it comes out really good. I can put it in the dishwasher. It won't come out or anything like that. However, though, if I don't apply the transfer to this product correctly, and I don't seal it correctly, and I don't have the right temperature, and I don't leave it for the right amount of time in the oven, then when I go to take this off and you see the ink smudge or it just didn't come out clear or anything, that means this goes in the trash. And I just have a hard time swallowing that I would have to throw this thing away. Especially when I know that these things individually can be kind of pricey. So I'm sure I'll get the hang of it, but I'm just having a hard time with the concept of throwing stuff away like that. So I'll probably just donate it to something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I want to expand the channel and stuff. I really do. I want to do also, I want to do in the hoop projects. Okay. A lot of you guys have, you know, I noticed on the Facebook group, you guys have jumped into that. I have done it also. The thing with in the hoop projects though, they're easy to do, and one of the things that I like is that once you got the pattern down pat and you know how that file works and how to sew it, you're never going to go wrong. It's going to sew right the same way all the time. It's just getting through that first time, at least it is for me, reading the directions and learning those steps to make sure you know exactly how they're going to stitch out. So my first in the hoop project that I had experience with was doing an ID badge, and man, the thing pissed me off. Pissed me off because I didn't understand it, and I was watching the video and I had to keep recording, and I even had reached out to the designer, and I was like real mad, you know. So I was just like, man, this sucks. But then after I figured it out, oh, I was cranking them up. I was like, oh, okay. And then I felt bad, and I called the designer. I was like, I'm so sorry if I was so mean. You know, it's just that, you know, you get upset when you're trying to learn something and you just don't grasp it. And then people are like, oh, it's so easy. I'm like, no, it wasn't easy for me. But anyway, but I want to do in the hoop projects. One of the things that I want to do is I want to do towel toppers. Okay. Because one of the things that I like about these towels is I get these towels, right? And I make them. And I know that I can take one of these towels, I can cut it in half, and then I can embroider one side of it, and then I can do a towel topper. And a towel topper is, you know, kind of like the top of the towel that you can tie on the handle of the oven. So it's kind of like I can end up having two towels made out of one sheet of a towel. So that's why I'm really interested in knowing how to make a towel topper on the SC1900. And once I figure that out, you know me, I'm going to be videotaping it and I'm going to be showing you guys so that you guys can do the same thing. Okay. I also want to show you more videos on when I use Embrilliance. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take designs that, embroidery files that I buy, and I like to merge them together, and I like to just mix it up. I like to change the colors, or sometimes take a different part of the design away, or add a part of one design to another design. So I want to, kind of like put the camera next to me, and then as I'm playing around with Embrilliance, just talk about it and let you guys know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. So that way it can help you to learn how to make your own embroidery designs as well. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. I also wanted to let you guys know, some of you guys know that not only do I have the SC1900, but I also have a multi-needle machine, which is the Brother PR670E. Recently, I got the itch to get a 10 needle Brother machine. Okay, so I had gone to the quilting shop and I asked for the price of the Brother PR1055X. That is supposed to be the latest and greatest 10 needle machine that Brother has. The price they quoted me was about $14,000. So I'm like, okay, so if it's $14,000, so I was like, should I trade in, get my 6 needle machine, and then trade it in to get the 10 needle machine? There's a lot of pros and cons on it. So, the difference for those that have a 6 needle and are thinking about getting a 10 needle, the biggest difference, and I have not done the trade-in yet because I am still like weighing the pros and cons in my head between these two, is the laser. The 6 needle machine has a laser pointer and it kind of shows exactly where the needle is going to hit. When you transfer over to the 10 needle machine, the laser is no longer an option. They use a camera, which the camera is good. But one of the things that I noticed is when I was doing my research and I went to other Facebook groups and asked people that had the machine how they felt about it, a lot of people said some were having problems on learning how to use the camera. So I'm kind of like, Now, more needles is always a good thing, especially if you have an embroidery design that has a lot of color changes, okay? I personally am one person that, to be honest, it doesn't bother me to have a bunch of color changes and have to change the thread especially on my 1900. I mean, I don't know why. It's just I like the machine and like to sit in front of it. And for some reason, I just get memorized or whatever. And I like to watch the needle go up and down. And I don't mind changing the colors. And I just feel like with the single needle machine, sometimes I feel like I have more control because it's like I could kind of like see. I don't know. It's like it's more of a slow motion and you really get to see the design grow. It goes mellow. So, when you have the multi-needle machine, everything runs a little faster and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. I use it for all the big products, but I actually kind of like the single needle. So, I have been toying with the idea of getting rid of this machine and going for, bless you, getting the big 10 needle, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But I will definitely let you know if I make that plunge and stuff. Let me see. I also I wanted to also to let you guys know I did do a video on the slowing down the speed of your Brother SC1900. When I was thinking about doing videos of the functionality of the 1900, one of the things that I thought was I could do a very long one, but then it's like, okay, people sometimes they don't want to sit through a whole 20-minute or 30-minute tutorial. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on certain functions, and I'm just going to say, this is how you do this. That way, I figured it's be much easier, because I know that some folks have been sewing with metallic thread. And sometimes some people, they do advise that when you're sewing with metallic thread, that you should slow down the speed of your machine. Now, there's two ways that you can slow it down. You can slow it down using the little knob that's in the front of the machine, or you can go into your settings and you can slow down the speed of the machine there. So in that video, what I did was I showed you how you do it going to your settings. So I figured as I move forward, I want to start doing small videos on how you can change certain things in your machine, and certain look at the settings, what they are, what they mean, how you can use them, and then maybe do a video on stitches, the different design stitches, how can you change, how to change your pressure foot and all that stuff. So I just I prefer the small videos, because that way you can go through my channel, and like, let's say you have a question of, shoot, how do I do my bobbin? Well, you can look up bobbin changes, and then right there I'll show you exactly how do you change your bobbin, how do you wind your bobbin, how do you put in a new needle in your machine, how do you clean your machine. I already have a video on how to clean the machine, but I can do one more in depth. And then also, I know someone had asked a video about how I float my items, and I do want to do one on that. I was hoping to get more videos put out. Unfortunately, though, it's like with the Etsy shop and all the orders that I was getting, it was really, really hard for me to videotape it. And it got to the point where I was really getting exhausted. So I was kind of like, okay, but I do got to chug along. So I kind of like told myself, all right, Jeanette, you just got to slow down and try to do at least just maybe one video a week or something. That way, to keep it going, the flow and everything. So let me see. Another thing is also, I wanted to focus on doing videos of what happens when something goes wrong and how to fix it. I do have one that I put out there about, which is one that I noticed a lot of people, they posted on Facebook about, was, what do you do when you're in the middle of a project and then your bobbin runs out, right? Which, of course, if you just got the machine and you're embroidering for the first time, and that happens, you're going to freak out. Because I know I freaked out, because I was like, how the hell do you do this? How do you, So I remember taking the hoop and just moving it a little bit, not even cutting the thread or anything, and trying to take the plastic out so that I could put a new bobbin in. And just shaking my head like, what the hell? You panic because you don't know, right? So I did a video on that to try to help people, so that way when that happens, don't worry about it. Because I did get to the point where every time I started a new project, I would put a brand new bobbin in there, but that wastes thread, so it's like, it's not necessary. Very, very easy to do, to stop the machine, make sure you write down your stitch count. So just in case, God forbid, something happens, you always know where to go back. So, and just cut it, take the hoop out, change the bobbin, put your hoop back in, go back 10 stitches, you'll be good, So, I also, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about things that go wrong, like nesting. Nesting is when you have, you didn't thread correctly on the top, and then sometimes you'll be embroidering, and all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of thread all clogged up at the bottom of your fabric. That's nesting. What do you do to fix that and stuff? Tension. I have a video on tension. I'll do another video on cleaning your machines also. Because sometimes it's like, I had those two videos on appliques, the bag, and I had the onesie. But a lot of people wrote to me and said they really loved how I did appliques 101, because it was more clearer, So, I don't mind redoing videos and stuff, just to give you guys more clear information and stuff. Let me see. I also wanted to do a video of, I know some people had asked me about my sewing room, the room that I have here. I know a lot of folks have been asking me about, hey, can you do a tour of your sewing room? Let me clean it up first. I want to at least keep it a little neat. And then I figured while I am giving you a tour of my little room and all of my sewing stuff, I figured I could also take that as an opportunity to show you what are some of the good buys that I have done and some of the buys where I have regretted, right? Where I said, you know what? I purchased this and I don't use it. I don't really use it. I didn't think it was that good. Or I can, as we're going through my sewing room, I can say, oh, these are something that I use a lot, like applique scissors, what type of scissors, or the threads that I bought that thought I would like, but then I don't like, stuff like that. And oh yeah, I did mention the embroidering multi-applique design. I definitely do want to do that video. That will be the next video that I do post on my channel because since I did applique 101, I want that was a simple applique. It was just one number, so it was just placing one fabric and cutting it and finishing it off. But it can, a lot of the applique designs that you see out there, it's more than one fabric. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 or even 4, so I want to do one showing multiple so that way you guys can see. And then in the 101 video that I did with the appliques, I did it with a piece of fabric. So what I want to do with the second one is I want to show you other items that you can use to do applique. Some people use, they call embroidery vinyl. Some people use heat vinyl transfer. Some people use the fabric, but they use the fabric with heat and bond. Okay. There's just a whole bunch of different stuff that you can do. It's nameless, the stuff, the stuff you can do, So I wanted to, when I do that project, I want to use different types of materials in that project so that you can see how each material works, okay, and stuff. Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys is websites. Right before getting on here, I wanted to, I saw someone had posted on Facebook. They did these really, really cute electric light holders of, the little men with the beards. I think they're called glooms or gooms, or I don't know. They're little men with the beards. Really, really cute. And I asked her, where did you get that from? She was like, oh, it's really easy to make. And she was like, she got it from Embroidery Goals. So I wanted to mention some of the great, and I did check out that site before, logging onto the live. I want to share with you some of the sites because I know some of you guys out there are very brand new to embroidery. So make sure, you can always play back this video. But here are some websites that are really, really good for you to check out so that you can get some embroidery designs, okay? Because when you're starting off in embroidery, even though the SE1900 has some designs inside the machine that you can use and you can practice, you're going to want to go out and you're going to want to buy your own designs, So embroiderygarden.com was a very, very good site. Another one is embroiderydesigns.com. Designs by Juju is another favorite of mine. Embroiderylibrary.com is really, really good. And my favorite for fonts is stitchtopia.com. That one is like really, really good. Now, if you use software for, for you guys that are new, you're going to want to look into different types of embroidery software so that you can modify designs and make your own files. And once you make your own files, you can save it on a flash drive and you can put it on your machine. I use In Brilliance Essentials. Now, I use that because to me it was easy, easy, very easy to learn. There's a lot of videos out there showing how to use the product. You can also go to their website and you can download the software for 30 days, a trial, just so you can see if you like it. But there are others out there. I've heard of Hatch. I've heard of So Pro. I'm not familiar with those. I've never played with those. I've always done Embrilliance. But you're gonna want to look into that and stuff, and I would suggest look, just don't look at it in Brilliance. Look at whatever, other software, because what's important is you got to find the right software that works for you, and stuff, because you may like So What Pro better than in Brilliance or Hatch or another thing. So, I'm I'm one of those that I tell people you gotta do what's right for you, you really do, and stuff. So I am going to go through the chat and see if you guys have any questions and stuff. Hey Norma, how are you? Happy New Year's. Hey Annette. Hey Leslie. Everybody's all excited. Have to catch up with all your videos. Hey Edith. Hey Sarah. Let me see. I really enjoyed and learned a lot about the applique. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. Miss Wade. Sarah, thanks. I'm really glad. Oh, do you use your multi-needle machine from Edith? Yes, I do use it. I do use it. I like to use it, especially when I have a lot of orders. Like for Christmas, this thing was like a workhorse. And I did use it for my cousin's jacket. She wanted, she's a big fan. My cousin Betty is a big fan of, what is that? The guy that he died Christmas, George something. Oh, Jesus Christ, she's going to get mad. George Michael. There you go. George Michael. She's going to get mad. She's going to say, how can you forget about George? So she's all about George Michael. Okay. Betty loves her George Michael. So what I did was I bought a jean jacket for her. And I did a search and I found a George Michael embroidery file. And what I did was I embroidered George Michael in the back of her jean jacket. So that was her Christmas gift from me. So I love using the big machine for embroidering jean jackets, real big, bulky stuff. I do laptop cases with the big machine because it's just big, bulky stuff like that. It's a lot easier on that. When it comes to my dinner napkins and towels and stuff, a lot of times I like to do these on the single needle because, these are more like 5x7 unless I need to make them bigger. If I need more space than a 5x7, then I'll stick it on the big machine. But I do use it a lot. But I really do love my my small machine and stuff. So, the font. Oh, the font. And Edith, the font. Okay, everybody loves this font. Okay, all right. So the font is from Stitchtopia, and it's called Maya, Mayah. And there's 3 types. There's a Maya 1, a Maya 2, and a Maya 3. This I believe is the Maya 2. I think I bought all 3, so I usually just go and but this is my favorite font too. I'm telling you. Everybody loves that font. You can't go wrong with that font. Let's see. I use the embroidery function on my. Can you also focus on the sewing portion of the machine? Yes, Deborah, I will. I will also, one of the things that I want to do also on the channel is I want to work on projects that you have to use both functions of the machine. Because the machine, is a sewing slash embroidery machine. So one of the things that I was thinking was the first project that I could probably do is like a little coin case, right? We can make a coin case. And what we can do is we have all the pieces, cut up all the pieces, embroider what we want, like on the back of the coin case, and then sew it together. So I was thinking it would be really cool if I could come up with some projects that I can teach you guys how to make where you use both sides of the machine, the embroidery and the sewing portion of it. So that is what I do want to, I do want to do that. Let's see. Carol, I have a small sewing machine and 4 machines. Yeah, 4? Girl, I got 2. But well, at one time I had 3, but I sold the the very first sewing machine that I had, which was the HC 1850. I sold that because I got my brother. So the SC 1900. Supplies and need help to straighten it out. Yeah, and I will say I will do the tour of the sewing room, but I want to clean it up a little bit because the thing is, one thing when you are sewing and embroidering, I mean, you need a lot of space. I mean, you don't really think about it when you first do it. Even with the Cricut machine, it's like you need a place to work, you need a place to cut, you need a place to weed. It's, it can get kind of messy and stuff. Just bought the 1900, all new, throwing myself into the unknown. Still very excited. Ozzy, you're gonna love it. I'm telling you. I mean, you're gonna be. I remember when I first bought my SC 1900, I wouldn't leave the room because I was so busy sewing, and embroidering. And every time I embroider something, I would look at it and I would be like, "Ooh, look what I did!" So you're gonna love it. You really are. I struggle with sizing the design on kids' shirts. Is there a standard to go by? Okay. Tracy, when it comes to the kids' shirts, a lot of times, a lot of people, they usually do that on the big machines, because it's easier to do it on the big machines because of the bigger hoop. But when you're doing a kid's shirt on the 5x7 hoop, okay, on the SC 1900, I always float my shirt. And the reason why I like to float my shirts is because it's easier for you to manipulate where you're going to embroider, okay? When you are hooping an item and you're hooping the stabilizer and you're also hooping the shirt, what happens is sometimes the shirt can shift, and that can really mess up the placement of your embroidery. So Tracy, one of the things that I advise is that you float it, and maybe that should be a project that I do. I should just take a kid's shirt and embroider it and stuff. But let me know what size kids shirts you're doing also, so maybe I could try to mimic what you're doing, what or how I would do it, Oh, Vicky got her SC 1900 for Christmas. Congratulations, Vicky. I'm telling you, this sewing fully got this machine. Fabric baskets would be a good idea. Yeah. Well, Annette mentions fabric baskets. One of the things that I noticed is a lot of people are taking rope and they are sewing a basket out of rope, which it's pretty easy to do because all they're doing is they're turning it around and they're using the zigzag stitch to keep the rope together, and then it just goes round and round and round and stuff like that. Will you be, when doing your dinner napkins, do you do the dinner napkin is not a perfect square. Okay, yeah, Tracy. Yeah, I buy those napkins or Upia. Okay. Yes, I noticed they are not perfect squares. Not all of them are. If you get the other brand though, I find that they're a better quality, and they started with the T. I think it's Trivino or something like that. There's two brands that I use. The Upina is more of the cheaper brand, but they're not a perfect square. Sometimes they are a little off, but I haven't gotten any complaints from the customers. I just make sure that I iron them really good. And I always put my embroidery on the corner of the dinner napkin, Trisha. So but I would recommend buying the other brand. If you don't know the name of the other brand, please reach out to me, and I'll, as a matter of fact, I'll post it on the Facebook page so you guys know what type of dinner napkins I buy. But the one that you posted, the Utopia brand, were the first dinner napkins that I started buying. But then what ended up happening was they gave me a mismatch on the color of ivory, so that I got pissed off. So I went in and I bought another brand, and then they were thicker. They were much better and stuff. Hey, Lucky Lucy, Happy New Year. Let's see. Use your grids today. Make sure you're pulling it where you want it. Okay. Yeah, the grids do help. Miss Miles is right. And floating is great. Yeah, I float everything, Carol. I really do. Where do you buy your t-shirt blanks from? Okay. Edith, the best place that I found to buy blanks of t-shirt is jiffyshirts.com. I like them. I really do. Now, what I usually do is I like to buy the problem with the shirts, I don't buy too many shirts. I usually buy the Glendons, and I usually get them from Michael's if I'm only doing one or two shirts, right? But if I have a big order of shirts, like I did with the guy, the flooring company, where they ordered 36 shirts from me, I go to Jiffy Shirts and I'll buy the whole 36 because they are cheaper. They are cheaper. And what I like about jiffyshirts.com is this not just shirts. You can buy bags, you can buy hats, you can buy so many things from them, towels and stuff like that. So they offer a lot of things. So, to me, I like Jiffy Shirts, and I really like, they're very, very quick in their shipping, and they're very good with returns and everything like that. So I like them. I embroider onesies. Yeah, embroidering onesies is fun. Give you that baby feeling. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna send her little onesies, but I ain't gonna visit no baby because I always say babies are tricks. They have babies and they give it to you, and the babies always have that baby smell. So it's kind of like to make you want to have a baby, and I'm like, no. So that's why my friends kind of get mad at me sometimes when they have babies, because I'm like, I won't hold them. I'm like, I'll hang out with them when they're two. So I'm like, nah. Okay, the sizes are any from 2K and up. Oh, when there are times when the designs is too small. Okay. The design, that could be, Tracy, what I would recommend that you do in that situation is try to use the 5x12 hoop. But what I would do is test it out. Take your design, try to see if you can put it on a 5x12 hoop. And, in Brilliance, how in Brilliance breaks it down in 2 files, right? So I would do, that's where you would do the felt, okay? That's when you take your time and you just hoop the 5x12, put the felt in there, and then see if the design would hoop on, if it would stitch out. correctly on a 5x12 hoop. And if that's the case, there you go. Then I would say hoop the shirt on a 5x12 and use that size, and that way you can enlarge the design and stuff. Because you are right, because you know a 5x7 design like these, they look very, very good on a onesie, right? Because they're small. They're very, very small. But when you are getting to kids shirts where the kids are bigger, you're gonna want the design to be bigger. So I would recommend trying to do that on a 5x12. See how it comes out, because that could probably be it. The way you can do that. When using embrilliance, be careful, redesign. Yes. And usually, Miss Miles, this is one of the things that I do. I always, it gets more difficult when you're resizing a design. This is something that I find when I'm resizing a design. It's always better to try to go smaller than to go bigger, because when you're going bigger, you are adding stitches to the design. And sometimes when you're adding stitches to the design, it may not come out too crisp. But if you are eliminating stitches from the design, if you are making a design smaller, then I feel like you don't really lose too much of the integrity of the design that you just bought. So I always try to at least buy my designs a 5x7 or a 6x6, and then I will shrink it. I usually stay away from buying designs that are 4x4, because the way I look at it is, if I needed to go to a 4x4, I can always take the 5x7 and then just shrink it to fit a 4x4. That's what I usually do. How do you know? Hey, do you know why I can see the bobbin thread so much on the front of my design? Brandon, yes. Okay, that means you're having problems with your tension. Okay, you should never see the bobbin thread on the top of your design. If you see that, you're having a problem with your tension. I have a video on tension. Okay, so if you look at that video, you can, what I recommend that you do is take your bobbin thread, keep it white, put the top thread as black, okay, because you want two separate colors, okay, you don't want them to be the same. And then what I would do is test out the letter I, and then look at the back of how that letter I stitched out to make sure that your tension is right. If it's not right, then what I recommend that you do is that you go and you adjust the tension on your SC1900. And I do have a video on that, okay? Yes. Is the brand? Yes. Tracy has the right one. It's Taravilla for the dinner napkins. I actually like that brand better than the other brand, Teresa, for the dinner napkins. I feel those come out more square. As a matter of fact, let me show you real quick while I can. Got it. It's these. These are the ones that I use for my dinner napkins. Oh God, the light. Sorry, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna open this one up so you guys can see. These dinner napkins, to me, they just look, they're thicker. And when I look at the stitching of these dinner napkins, I feel that they are more professional, okay? And they are actually more square. They're perfect squares. So I feel that these are better quality. Now, the only downfall with these dinner napkins are they're a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind giving an extra $2 for something that I know is a lot better. So that's just, so yeah, but those are the dinner napkins. Oh yes, Miss Miles, Brandon, Miss Miles, well, are you using pre-wound bobbins? I highly recommend that you do use pre-winded bobbins, because the way your bobbin is set will determine how your embroidery looks. So Miss Miles, thank you so much for pointing that out. That was very good. I used the white one that came with it. Okay. Oh, it gave you. Damn, I didn't get any pre-winded bobbins. Got my machine. They must have changed that up. Okay. But you have to check your tension, Brandon, because that's what's going. That's what's wrong. Yep. And Deborah's always saying, yeah. And you know what? Maybe I should do a video on threading your machine correctly. So that way, because I know a lot of you guys are new. And Brandon, don't, post it on Facebook if you're still having problems and stuff, so we can all give you suggestions on how to help. Used to be so afraid to change the tension. What's a good program for turning sketches into designs into the machine? Okay, Brandon. Okay, in turning sketches into designs into the machine, you have to digitize. Okay, that is something that a lot of people think. They think, it's just something that you cannot just take a design, and there is no, they do have some stuff where you can scan it and they'll provide some stitches, but you really have to digitize a file. Embroidery files are very, very different, right? Because embroidery files are files that actually tell the machine exactly where to stitch. And sometimes a drawing looks very different from an embroidery file. So, Brandon, what I recommend is, because someone else had asked about that, I would look up a gentleman by the name of John Deere, and he has been embroidering. His family's been embroidering for ages. Okay, I mean, and he has courses on how to digitize, and he's really, really, really good. So I would look up John Deere, and he would be able to. You can learn some of the stuff in there. And Brandon, the group that we're talking about is, I have a Facebook group that's called Happy Hours Embroidery Adventures. Is it Happy Hour Embroidery Adventures? I forgot the name of my group. I think it's Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures. Sorry. Having a moment, okay. And stuff. Yeah, that's what I meant. Do you know of any programs to digitize? Oh, okay. Well, Embrilliance does have Embrilliance is think of Embrilliance as a suite, right? Embrilliance is the suite, and it has like different modules. Essentials is usually what people begin with. Embrilliance can teach you to, you can use Embrilliance to digitize, but you have to buy the modules, which is like Artist 1, 2, and 3. There's also another program that I've heard of, Hatch. Hatch is also used to digitize, but I'm not very familiar with that one. There are a lot of softwares out there, but Brandon, I really do recommend look up John Deere, because he's like the master of digitizing, and watch some of his videos, and he does mention how to digitize and all that kind of stuff, and he also talks about some software as well. So, that if you're really interested in digitizing, I always tell people John Deere is the person to go to. I mean, because he is really, really, really good. And stuff. Oh my God, it is 9 o'clock already. I think I got everybody's questions and stuff like that. So guys, I thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I really, as always, I appreciate all the support and everything. And I am so happy that this channel has really been able to help people learn about the machine and how to use it. Um, Moving forward, I am going to continue to put more videos on specifically for the SC1900. And I do want to put some stuff on the Cricut Maker and other stuff that I'm working on as well. But I know there are so many people out there that had just got their SC1900, and I'm really, really excited. Got all the mixed emotions of excitement and nervousness and everything of trying to learn how to embroider. So I really want to take the next couple of weeks to do like embroidery 101, and show you guys how the machine works, how it functions, and all that kind of stuff. I do have a video out there on the first project to do on the SC1900. I think I'm going to refilm that, and I'm going to do a oh, Brandon, thank you. You're very welcome. I am going to I'm gonna refilm the first project for the SC1900. Okay, that way try to get like a real simple one, and I want to make it like really, really, really clear, so that way you guys can learn and understand. I love this machine, and I really have such a great time embroidering. I really love doing that, and I really want to, I want to help people out there in learning the machine as well. So, as always, if you need any help, please, reach out to you can post on the Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures Facebook group. I'm pretty good at responding. You can even leave comments. I'm always reading comments and trying to help people. I've even had some people that reached out to me in Facebook Messenger. You can do that. Don't be shy. It's okay. I don't mind helping, So, hope you like this happy hour embroidery, and hope you like the channel. Please give me a thumbs up. And, if you know of other people that are trying to learn about embroidery and stuff, please recommend my channel to them. I would love for them to subscribe. The more, the merrier. I mean, it's just something that I just like to do. So anyway, I love you guys. Happy New Year, everyone. I mean, this is going to be an exciting year. I hope we have a great time together in doing a bunch of sewing and embroidery and a bunch of craft projects. So you guys take care. Please be careful out there. And I will see you next Friday at 8 o'clock. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.